Beneath the painted smile and the colourful attire, a clown can harbour a darkness that is beyond imagination. Imagine a figure of hilarity, a character bathed in bright colours, with a nose as red as a ripe cherry, and a smile painted so wide that it could outshine the sun. Clowns, the jesters of modern society, have long been the purveyors of chuckles and giggles. They are the ones who turn dull parties into a rollicking good time. The ones who can transform a child's frown into a face lit up with joy. They juggle, they tumble, they pull out endless handkerchiefs from their pockets, and they make us laugh until our bellies ache. Yet, have you ever wondered about the man behind the painted face? Have you ever noticed that one clown who prefers to lurk in the shadows, away from his more boisterous companions? He's the one who prefers to work alone, the one who doesn't quite fit into the vibrant world of laughter and merriment. He's the one who, even after the confetti has settled and the laughter has died down, refuses to wipe away his makeup, as if the painted face is his true visage. His antics might make you chuckle, but there's a certain edge to his humour, a touch of melancholy in his laughter. His jokes are a tad too dark, his pranks a little too cruel, and you can't shake off that feeling of unease that creeps up on you each time he looks your way, his painted eyes hiding something sinister. There's something about him that's not quite right. Something about him that makes you feel a chill run down your spine, even as you laugh at his tricks. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's there, lurking beneath the surface, beneath the painted smile and the colourful attire. And so, beneath the laughter and merriment, an unsettling question lingers. Who is the man behind the mask? As the sun sets, the clown's jovial persona begins to crumble, revealing a far more sinister character. Behind the makeup and the red nose, there lies a mind clouded by darkness and consumed by a chilling obsession. No longer the bringer of joy and laughter, he transcends into a realm far removed from the colourful circus tents and the smell of popcorn. His world, once filled with giggles and applause, morphs into a playground of terror, where his victims become unwilling participants in a horrific game of cat and mouse. His obsession with his chosen victims is a twisted dance of sorts. It's a fascination not with the people themselves, but with the fear he instills in them, the anticipation, the terror etched on their faces, the adrenaline coursing through their veins. He feeds off it. It fuels his desire, his need to continue this macabre performance. His planning is meticulous, methodical, a twisted parody of his onstage routine. Each step is carefully orchestrated, each act designed to inflict maximum terror. Every prop, every moment is calculated with chilling precision. This is not a performance for the faint-hearted. This is a symphony of fear composed by a maestro of menace. The thrill he derives from his heinous acts is not derived from the act itself, but from the chase, the build-up, the crescendo of fear that precedes the final act. It's a high that no applause, no standing ovation could ever match. It's the ultimate performance, a grand spectacle of horror that only he can direct and execute. This stark contrast to his public image, this dichotomy between the entertainer and the predator, paints a disturbing portrait of a man lost in his own dark fantasies. A man who has traded the spotlight for the shadows, laughter for screams, joy for fear. As the last echoes of laughter fade away, they are replaced by the chilling whispers of fear and dread. The clown is no longer a figure of fun, but a harbinger of horror, a symbol of terror that haunts the darkest corners of our minds. In the shroud of darkness, the clown becomes a predator, turning innocent laughter into terrified screams. As the sun sets and the world is shrouded in the inky veil of night, our once jovial entertainer transforms. His painted smile, a beacon of joy in the daylight, morphs into a chilling symbol of impending doom. This is when his reign of terror begins. His strategy is as methodical as it is horrifying. He chooses his victims carefully, always those who laugh the loudest, their innocence and delight making them irresistible prey. He relishes in their fear, feeding off it, the terror in their eyes sparking a perverse delight in his own. His laughter, once a soundtrack to merriment, now echoes as a haunting prelude to horror. But what could drive a purveyor of joy to become a merchant of death? What twisted pleasure could he derive from transforming laughter into screams, delight into despair? The answer lies deep within the labyrinth of his mind, a place as dark and twisted as his deeds. His motives, though unclear, hint at a deep-seated malice, a desire to taint the purity of joy with the stain of fear. Perhaps he seeks to assert control, to wield power over the innocent and the blissful. Or perhaps he is driven by a darker force, a sadistic pleasure in witnessing the desecration of joy. Regardless of his motives, one thing is certain: his actions paint a macabre picture, turning the once comforting image of a clown into a symbol of dread. His laughter, once a source of joy, now serves as a chilling reminder of the terror that lurks beneath the painted face. The clown, a figure once associated with happiness and mirth, has become a purveyor of horror, his antics inspiring not laughter, but fear. And so, as the world succumbs to the darkness of night, the true nature of our clown is revealed. The night brings with it a horrifying reality. The clown is not a source of joy, but a harbinger of death. Behind the mask of the murdering clown lies a story as twisted as his deeds, a tale that begins not in the circus ring, but in a small, nondescript town where a young boy's life was marred by tragedy and violence, a boy who would grow up to become the terror that haunts our nightmares. This boy, our clown, was not always the monster we know. He was once a child who was subjected to unspeakable acts of cruelty. His childhood, a vicious cycle of abuse and neglect, forged in him a deep-seated hatred. A hatred not just for his tormentors, but for the world that stood by and did nothing. The world that laughed and clapped as he was forced to don the clown's mask and play the fool. But the clown was no fool. Beneath the colourful wig and painted smile lay a cunning mind, a mind that understood the power of deception. And so he used his mask, his comical facade, to his advantage. He hid in plain sight, blending into the world of laughter and joy, where no one suspected the darkness that lurked beneath. His reign of terror went on for years, each act more horrifying than the last. Yet he always managed to evade capture. His victims were many, but evidence against him scarce. His ability to manipulate, to charm, to make people believe in the innocence of his clown persona kept him steps ahead of those who sought to unmask him. The clown's laughter hides a tale of pain and madness, a chilling reminder of what lies beneath the surface, a story that forces us to question the faces we see, the laughter we hear, and the darkness that could be hiding behind the most innocent of masks. Because behind the mask of the murdering clown lies a story as twisted as his deeds, a story that unravels the mystery of the monster that lurks within. Every act has an end, and for our murderous clown, the curtain was about to fall. Our tale now reaches its crescendo, and we find ourselves at the end of the macabre performance that has held an entire town in its fearful grip. The clown who once spread joy and laughter had become a symbol of horror, a creature that haunted dreams and turned laughter into screams. But even the darkest night gives way to dawn, and for this town salvation was imminent. The relentless pursuit of justice finally cornered the clown, his technicolor facade unable to shield him from the long arm of the law. Captured, he stood before the court, a jester in the palace of justice. Each testimony, each tear-streaked face, each trembling voice was a stark reminder of the pain he had inflicted. The clown, once an enigma of evil, was now just a man, stripped of his disguise and standing trial for his heinous crimes. The court's verdict echoed through the hushed room, a damning sentence that sealed the clown's fate. The gavel fell, marking an end to the clown's reign of terror. But as he was led away, his painted smile still etched on his face, it was clear that the wounds he had inflicted ran far deeper than the physical scars. In the aftermath of the trial, the town began to heal slowly, a community forever marked by the shadow of the clown's terror. The victims and their families, forever scarred by their encounters with the clown, carried with them not just the memory of their ordeal, but also the strength of their survival. In the end, the clown's painted smile could no longer hide the monster underneath. His reign of terror was over, but his legacy of fear lives on. The clown's final act may have ended, but his eerie laughter still echoes in the silence of the night, a chilling reminder of the horror that once was.